What's up, good people? It's your man Jay Free, Enlightened Perspective. As usual, just hoping everyone is having a blessed evening. Hoping all is going well. Just again, digging in, researching, studying for you all, as well as usual. Just hoping everyone is having a blessed evening. Hoping all is going well. Apologize. That was the back play. I apologize. Just hoping everyone's having a blessed evening, like I say, as well as self. Just continuing to try to get better day by day, research and studying, just trying to present this information in hopes to strike like-minded individuals, hoping to spark people's critical thinking. And that's all we look to do. As you saw the headline, North Korea threatens to annihilate the U.S. with a missile attack. Now, this is in light of all of the threats that Trump has given towards Kim Jong-un, and he just continues to test these missiles. I'm not sure what your knowledge or information or understanding is in regards to, a lot of the events that are happening around the world in regards to, we have a lot of people that understand what is considered conspiracy theory when you talk about the World War III conspiracy theory connected to the Illuminati. Now, I won't go into that, but I will say that I understand the words that were written by Albert Pike in 1871, in which he not prophesied or Nostradamus, but he predicted. He predicted in 1871 that there would be 3 world wars, and he said what the reason for the 3 wars would be, and he predicted them because they would be strategic in them implementing a strategic plan in regards to a one world government. And so now here we sit where we are, and we got all that's going on around the world. So I'm gonna play the clip and let you hear, because this is recent news in regards to what's going on in North Korea. So I'll play the clip first, and then we'll chop it up a little bit.
North Korea has threatened to annihilate the United States in a missile strike planned for today. A North Korean foreign ministry spokesperson said, quote, "Should the U.S. dare to show a kind of attempt to remove our supreme leadership, we will strike a merciless blow at the heart of the U.S. with our powerful nuclear hammer, honed and hardened over time." The comments come after CIA Director Mike Pompeo said Kim Jong-un needs to be separated from his weapons. A news agency in South Korea is reporting that there's a high possibility that a strike could be launched Thursday. The report says transporter erector launchers that carry missile launch tubes have been moved by North Korea. The launch would mark the 64th anniversary of the signing of the Korean Armistice Agreement. A U.S. defense official said, quote, "They're setting up for something." This comes after the July 4th launch of an intercontinental ballistic missile that could have made it as far as Alaska. However, reports indicate the missile is not capable of carrying a nuclear payload across the Pacific. And a recent report from the Defense Intelligence Agency said the North could make nuclear missiles as soon as 2018.
All right, so you heard that part of the news brief for yourself. They said that it was actually scheduled for today, that it was supposed to be. So I just bring this to our attention because we don't have no clue of when or what's going to happen, but we know that something is in the works. Now, America keeps saying that North Korea they don't have the missile or ballistics to be able to make it here. Well, they just did a test on July 4th in which they were able to prove that they have a missile that can at least reach as far as Alaska. Well, now we also have a story that says that America was false in their prediction and their understanding of North Korea's their expertise when it comes to their missile preparation, because they're finding out that they actually they were predicting a possibly 3 to 4 years before they had the capabilities to make a nuclear weapon, but now they have the capabilities to reach California. And so that means that right now, from what they know, they could actually set up a strike. However, you have to remember, it's the same as it is if it was one of us. When you're in a battle with someone, when you're in a fight with somebody, you don't let them know, all of the tools that you're working with. So America thinks that they know all of the ins and outs about what's going on in North Korea, but obviously they don't, because North Korea wouldn't share all of the ins and outs with America. They wouldn't let America know everything that it is that's going on behind the scenes. And so this is where we sit at today, with all of the distractions and with everything that we have going on around us. You know what I'm saying? We have we got people. I've heard stories where some of the celebrities, Usher got herpes, and Jay-Z, and I mean, we got all kind of stuff going on around us, but nobody's paying attention to the bigger picture. And so while the left hand is doing one thing, the right hand is doing another. And we're so focused on all of the distractions that they got in front of us that we're not paying attention to the plans that they're trying to implement. You know what I'm saying? And this is the area where the divide and conquer comes in, because what they do is they have us infighting, and they have people down here. We fighting over rich and poor. We fighting over black and white. We fighting over sexuality. You know what I'm saying? They got a million different ways in which they have the people divided, because as long as we're divided and we're fighting amongst each other, then we never take the time to stop, pause, and turn around to look at the real enemy and to see exactly what it is that he's doing against us. And so this is not the news that they're going to just put out every day for us to see what's going on. You see what I'm saying? And so now imagine had they, sent the nuke today. Now, obviously they didn't, but imagine had they struck California today. No one, while you were sitting up watching Love and Hip Hop or your latest, gossip channel or whatever was going on, what would have happened had a nuke hit California today? These are the questions we have to ask ourselves as we continue to sit by docile and complacent while they continue to push forward their their propaganda and continue to push forward the plans and the agenda that they have for us. No, nobody's talking about this. Nobody's talking about this, Jinju. And this is the thing, like, it's serious for us to pay attention, because it's we the people that they have divided. Like I said to someone before, if you pay attention and understand the behind the scenes, how the government actually works. In 1868, when they said that the slaves were free, they actually let the slaves free so that they could enslave everybody. And so when they took away the involuntary servitude, they just substituted it with voluntary servitude. And then they attached our social security numbers, birth certificates to the Federal Reserve, and then they made everybody a commodity. And so now, instead of involuntary servitude, they got voluntary servitude, which we call going to work, having a job. And so they make us think that we're surviving and that we're earning a living, when really we're not. We're just continuing to perpetuate the machine that is their system, and it keeps us docile. We live our lives in the box, and I know most of us don't realize it, but like right now, for example, I just left a friend's house, and the response was, hey, I got work tomorrow, so I got to start, prepping and getting ready for work. And so our lives center around our jobs, our family. Everything is centered around that. Like, everything in our life is based on our job, pretty much. The type of car we drive, the house we live in. And I'm not saying we shouldn't, live or have a living, but I'm talking about there's a much larger picture. Now, we're not hitting on it now, but there's a much larger picture. And so what we're doing is we just trying to point to the small things, like Neo in the Matrix, kind of just like, you have to have the spark of an awakening before you can get to the process to accept one of the pills. So we just trying to get people to see that there's a problem. And once we can see that there's a problem, then we can get to the root of figuring out how to fix it. And the problem is that they cause division and separation amongst us, the people. You see what I'm saying? Like I say, by every means possible, race, they separate you by height almost, short and tall. But I mean, we got, like I say, we got color, we got sex, we got all of the different tools in which they use. And all of these distractions are exactly that. So now, like I say, look at where we are. We got this man over here threatening to blow up. And notice what he said in his statement. He said, we will annihilate the heart of America if they so much as lift a finger to think about removing our supreme leadership. You know what I'm saying? They said even the slightest sign of an attempt. They didn't even say, you know, if they press, they said even the slightest sign of an attempt. And now I also want to bring to our attention, in light of understanding, to think for a moment what's also going on, because we can remember, see, when you dig in, there was Saddam Hussein, there was Muammar Gaddafi, and you know, there were others that were murdered because they chose to not get in line with the new world order system. They chose to not accept, you know, the dollar or the US currency. And so, like with Saddam and Muammar Gaddafi, and so they give us a lie and tell us, you know, we're fighting for oil, we're fighting for, you know, for communism. You know, they tell us whatever excuse that they give us, you know, just like now we in a war on terror because of the 9/11, you know, World Trade Center bombing, which, you know, by now there's enough information that we know that it definitely was an inside job, or it's definitely some fishy information around it. And so, like I say, but this was the excuse that they gave us as to why, you know, we're in the war on terror now, you know, 12 years, so whatever later, 15 years later. And so this is how the engine continues to run. So now Kim Jong-un has been over here. This is why he's been fighting the game to try to get nuclear power, because he knows the bully that America is as the military might for the new world order. There are three pieces to the new world order, and that is money, that is religion, and that is military might. And so the money is run from the Bank of England. The religion, of course, we know is Rome, you know, Vatican Hill, and the military might is the United States. And I know that they look like they're all three separate entities, but actually they're not three separate entities. They are one and the same as far as secret society runs. I'm going to dig into this information a little more. I got some stuff I've been putting together. I've been doing some great research. I've actually pulled up something. I won't put myself out there to get shot up yet. But when we hear some of the things, like, for instance, what John F. Kennedy had to say in the speech that actually cost him his life, in regards to what I'm saying about secret society and so on and so forth, we're going to learn a lot of information that's really, that people have called conspiracy theory for so long. But as I always try to point out to people, that when we talk about theory or conspiracy theory or theory, we're just simply saying what? Someone makes a guess, and then they take that hypothesis and then they put it to the test. And once they put it to the test, the process of time reveals whether it is a fact or it's not a fact, whether it's true or it's not true. And so theory starts as theory because it's an idea that's presented. But after the process of time, theory can be, you know, it is then deemed whether it is actually fact or fiction. And so in this case, people are saying that it's conspiracy theory about things that have been conspiracy theory for 50 years. So the government's corruption and the conspiracy theory is not, it's not conspiracy theory. You understand what I'm saying? And so the information is available to us now in 2017. We just have to take the time to dig in. We have to take the time to pay attention, to research, to listen, and to not accept everything as it is or has been given to us. We got to dig in deeper. We have to elevate our minds to another level. We have to enlighten our perspective, because perspective is everything. How you view a situation dictates your response and your reaction. You know what I'm saying? A woman in a relationship that, or let me just say, if you're in a relationship and it's an open relationship and there are no expectations, if you see the person with someone else, you're not upset because there were no expectations. But if you're in a committed relationship and you have an expectation of commitment, you know what I'm saying, and monogamy, then now if you see the person with someone, you get upset. I know that's a simple example, but this is, the difference is in perspective. You see what I'm saying? One woman will say, girl, I ain't mad. Shoot, long as he come home at night. The other woman say, he can't do me like that. It's just a matter of perspective. It's a matter of how you view the situation. And so how we view a situation dictates everything. It'll dictate, how far we'll be willing to go. You know what I'm saying? When you love someone, that's your perception. The inner feelings that you have for them dictates how far you're willing to go for them. You know what I'm saying? Someone that you don't care about, you're not willing to sacrifice or go that far on the line for somebody that you don't really care that much about. It's all about perspective. And so this is where we are in this world that we exist in. They have created our perspective. And so we exist in a money hungry, capitalist system where everyone's perspective is dog eat dog, and everybody wants to keep fighting and fighting and fighting, trying to get to the top. And there really is no top to get to, because that's the deception that they've created. They paint pictures through entertainment, using movie stars, movies, rap videos, and so on and so forth to make people, lust for a lifestyle that most people won't be able to reach. And so the process in trying to reach it just becomes full distraction. It becomes full distraction. I'm trying to not go into the deep stuff and just keep it on the subject of not being distracted and paying attention, because we sitting here right now and, we are literally on the brink of World War III. And I've said it for quite a while, for a couple of years, and we are literally on the brink of World War III. It could happen tomorrow. It could happen next week. It could happen next year. But nobody's paying attention. We here in America cut on the news and we'll watch Afghanistan or another country, Syria, we'll watch somewhere where we have attacked or where they've been attacked, and, buildings have been destroyed and lives have been lost. And we'll cut on the news and we'll look and say, oh, that's so sad. But for some reason, we don't feel like we can be attacked because we haven't been as of yet. But pay attention, because everyone's not scared of the big bully America. And so it's up to us to pay attention, because if we don't, then this corrupt system and corrupt government that's pushing and running everything is going to have us suffering the consequences for their actions. We suffering the consequences. The world hates America because of the image that they present of us. Look at them. They all fat. The world poor and America fat, lazy. They got it made. They got everything. So everybody wants to be us, not really paying attention. So we sit up here in our lap of luxury, so to say, complaining about what we don't have, not understanding the rest of the world, while we're distracted. And we on the brink of annihilation. Man, I just, like I say, just wanted to share this information as it comes to me. I try to present it as it comes. More videos coming where we'll actually be teaching on some things, and I won't just be freestyling where, because I try to not go too far or too deep into certain things, because I don't want to get people off. I want people to stay on track with what's going on and just open your mind, and then go to the videos where we're teaching. Well, I'll actually have, other video, and I'll have pictures and clips and different things like that, so the information can be presented to you, so you can actually see the information as opposed to just hearing me talk. And I think it's more valuable, and I think it's more helpful to be able to, have visual aids as opposed to just hearing me, especially when some of the things that I say will challenge your current understanding or current belief. But if I can present information to you and give you resources that you can go look at, I think that it can be beneficial. And so this is what we're trying to do. And I thank you all for taking the time out to listen and pay attention. If you like what we're doing, please like, share, subscribe. Please pass it on. Our attempt is to try to spread knowledge and help people to move past what the struggles that we have. We're trying to wake people up. We're trying to get on the same board. We're trying to, unite like minds. That's why it's united, intellectual consortium. We're trying to unite like minds. And so please like, share, subscribe, and help get the word out, help push it on, so that we can keep the movement going. It's your man, Jay Free. I see the enlightened perspective. Blessings and peace. Love to all. 100.